7 heat levels, and the last one comes with a waiver.
Reaper sounds like a little bit extra.
Waiver and release of liability. Yes, it's that hot. Eat it at your own risk. Definitely want to try the Reaper one. Is it really that hot?
Yes, ma'am.
It's really freaking hot. Yeah, that was not a big bite. The lips are burning really bad. The heat compounds. Because like when you first eat it, you don't feel it. It's not good. Yeah, don't do this.
I'm not doing the waiver today, but I'm not playing it safe either.
Get a slider with fries and 1 tender, and just give you the tender.
We're at Dave's Hot Chicken, and I need you to understand something before we get into this. This brand started in a parking lot with $900 and a tent. 8 years later, it sold for $1 billion. So before I tell you why that happened, let me find out if this heat is really that hot. All right, we are here at Dave's Hot Chicken getting some lunch. I got the number 3, which is a slider and an extra tender for my man Ernest here. I got medium heat, a side of ranch, and we're about to dig in. All right. It's not too hot yet. Okay, yeah, that's well earned. This is why it's hot right now.
This started in a parking lot in 2017.
Yeah.
Give us the backstory.
Well, it's a crazy story. There were 3 kids that wanted to support their parents, and so they only had $900 in savings.
And on night 1, they only sold $40 worth of chicken. And that only happened because one of the founder's girlfriends showed up with her friends.
Portable fryers and heat lamps and igloo coolers did a pop-up in a parking lot in East Hollywood. They got a write-up from a writer of Eater LA. And he said, late night chicken stand might blow your mind. And they showed up to work and they had a line 3 blocks long. And my son went down and saw them in the parking lot. He said, go look at this, Dad.
Now here's where it gets really interesting, because the story is great, but the numbers are what's actually driving the franchise world crazy right now. The average Dave's Hot Chicken location does about $3 million in annual revenue. That's just the average. The profit margins sit around 19%, which in fast food is almost unheard of.
What's special about this? Because hot chicken is kind of all the rage these days.
Totally the rage. We timed it really well. The product is insane. But then we have a team that built these other businesses, Wetzel's Pretzels and Blaze Pizza, and we have built a great team. And then the franchisees are just phenomenal. And the franchisees have done an incredible job building restaurants really, really fast. I
actually sat down with Brian, the former SVP of Carl's Jr., currently building 50 Dave's locations, and here's what he had to say about getting in early.
I was at dinner, and I won't say with who, and this gentleman said, "You ever hear of Dave's Hot Chicken?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "You got to go check it out. It's in downtown LA." And so I called Sam up, and he was in San Diego at the time, and he's like, "All right." So San Diego will open that week, and so he's on FaceTime and I'm on FaceTime. I'm in LA, he's in San Diego, and we're counting tickets like in an hour. Like, how many tickets? Like, because you can hear the number, like order number 1, order number 11. Like, and so we're counting. And we're doing the math, and we're like, this cannot be real, right? And there's only 3 open locations in the whole U.S. And I called them, and the rest is really history. When you taste the food, like you go to Dave's, you eat it, you're like, this is the best hot chicken I've ever had.
When someone with his experience goes all in on a brand, that tells you everything. But great unit economics alone don't build a billion-dollar brand. You need the culture to match. And Dave's has cracked something that most fast food brands spend decades trying to figure out. Every single time a new Dave's location opens, and I mean every time, the line is out the door. Not for a day, but for weeks. So how do they do this? Social media.
You said Dave's was built from the outside in, right? Can you explain what that means and how that affects your role?
Yeah, so Dave's is really interesting because this is a brand that 3 just dudes decided to put together. One of them happened to be a chef at a serious restaurant, put together, and the way it sort of blew up was from external love of the brand being expressed primarily through social media. So the world sort of defined what Dave's was. Customers defined what Dave's was from a very early day. So it's not the kind of brand that ever, the saying we say in marketing is, you don't say you're funny, you tell a joke. Well, this is the kind of brand that we never had to say we're funny, and we don't really even tell jokes. People tell us what they love about the brand, and then we reflect that back to them. Even our creative, if you look at our social feeds, we've got millions of followers, per store. We have a higher count than anybody else in the industry on TikTok and Insta. And if you look at our presence there, we don't say a whole lot on those channels. We essentially just reflect what people are saying to us. So the world has sort of defined what Dave was. Our customer base has defined what it is. Even down to the design of the restaurants is really an echo of what we heard people loved about the brand. You walk into a Dave's, it feels like very different than most other restaurants. A little of it is based on the parking lot that the original founders put up, and there happened to be the graffiti off the wall. A lot of it is based on what did people say they loved about us, and we reflect that in the design of the restaurant, the design of the menu, the design of the experience. So I think that's a hard thing for brands to do because they want to curate and be very specific on what the brand is. We're to the point where we have curated, but we've curated the kind of highlights of what people have told us they love about the brand. So it's a very different approach to brand building. It's, I think, harder to do, but if you can find a brand that's capable of doing it, where people actually love that brand enough that they express to you what they want the brand to be, and you can cull that down to something that's repeatable in a lot of locations, there's some magic to it, and it's working.
Dave's has leapfrogged legacy chains with decades of brand equity in terms of online relevance. Their content feels real because it is. This brand was built by 4 guys from LA with street cred, and they've never lost that DNA even as it scaled to 300 locations. Drake didn't invest because someone pitched him a deck. He invested because the brand felt like something he'd actually rep, and the authenticity is worth more than any marketing budget. They were already there with the best product in the space. First mover, best product, right timing. That combination doesn't happen often.
But it's about them. And the vision of these guys was just great. Armin Oganessian was the founder, a high school dropout, but a marketing genius. And he created all of this in his head, which is just kind of insane.
So just tell us, what do you think the marketing piece of it was that made it work? And also, behind the scenes, there was a scaling piece to this, the actual scaling of a franchise this big.
Right. Well, he was the marketing genius that saw this, and he connected. He was a stand-up comedian, and he connected with young people, and he made it really fun and really exciting. And he put all this together in his mind, and he foresaw all of this stuff. And then we took people that have done this before, and we knew how to scale businesses really fast, and we had great franchisees, and so we all worked together. And it became.
Had most of the franchisees done this before?
All of the franchisees had been in other restaurants. You had to be a franchisee that owned other restaurant stores before.
Like a Wetzel's Pretzel or
Wetzel's Pretzel or a Blaze Pizza or a Dunkin' or whatever.
So, I think that's kind of the genius of it. Can I ask what you paid for at any point in time? Like when you came along with this, to turn it into $1 billion, basically without a whole lot of capital going into it.
We only put in like $2 million.
That's the beauty of franchising this, right?
Yes, yeah. A movie producer, John Davis, brought me along. I worked with him in other businesses, and we brought in Drake and we brought in Samuel L. Jackson as investors, and it just made it really fun.
The last piece, and this is what actually makes Dave scalable, is the simplicity of the model and the menu. They only do tenders, a few heat levels, fries, coleslaw, and a sandwich. That's it. They didn't add their first core menu item until 2024, 7 years in. Every addition is tested obsessively before it touches a single customer. In franchising, simplicity is everything. Simpler menu means faster kitchens, lower labor costs, better margins, easier training, and more consistent product across hundreds of locations. While every other fast food brand is chasing trends with limited time offers and seasonal items, Dave's is doing the opposite. Right now, there are over 900 units in that pipeline.
Analyze what works and what doesn't. What does your guest want from you? Let's take Dave's, for example. Dave's is a very simple menu. It's kind of based on an in-and-out model. There's not a lot going on. It's chicken sandwiches, chicken tenders. That's kind of your options. You can get fries and a few other things on the side, but it's not a very complex menu. It's very simple.
The brand just sold to Roark Capital, the private equity group that owns Subway, Dunkin', and 30 plus other brands. The infrastructure is there to take this thing truly nationwide. The question isn't whether Dave's Hot Chicken is a good business. The numbers already answer that. The question is whether you're paying attention to opportunities like this before everyone else does. 4 guys, $900 in a parking lot. That's how this all started. And the operators who got in early, the ones who saw it before it was obvious, those are the ones building 10, 20, 50 location empires right now. The 4 founders each walked away with a reported $80 million. All from a parking lot tent to $80 million each in just 8 years. Finding those opportunities before they're obvious is exactly what Franzy is built to do. Full conversation with Brian is linked there too. Subscribe, we're just getting started.